Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the SportsCage. Thanks for making some time today. Like the big voice guy said, it's for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our great province of Saskatchewan. Colson's riding the board today. We got a number of guests coming up. They always participate on the Western Pizza guest hotline. If you want the perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, Western Pizza, your local one. Find out the pickup special near you. We're going to have some rider audio from rider practice today. We're going to hear from AJ Alette, Coach Mace, Kerfala Exume, Kosi Onyeka will be with us also. How about the Regina Pat Canadians? They're going to be hosting regionals in Regina early next year. I'm going to talk to the manager of the Regina Pat Canadians, how that all came about in Hour 1. Hour 2, Arash Madani's in for Brian Golly. I never know what Arash wants to get going on. I suspect he wants to talk about the Riders and the field goals. Maybe a little bit on the Edmonton Eskimos and the rest of the CFL. Edmonton Elks, sorry. And the rest of the CFL. It's Tuesday, so we have Pump Jacks Trivia in Hour 2. We need you to phone your dialing fingers 936-6262, not right now, in Hour 2, Pump Jacks Trivia. And if you were listening yesterday, that is the tease. The question will be from the show yesterday. Flag football, Regina's Tim Seiferling, assistant coach of Canada's women's flag team. He's off to Panama. Great song, Van Halen. We'll talk to him about the women's flag team for Canada as they get into the Americas tournament there. More rider audio coming up. Glen Suitor in Hour 3. We had a lot of participation yesterday on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. You're always welcome to join in. 936-6262. We had a little bit of a battle on the YouTube chat as well. Stirring the pot is always welcomed on either. So if you have something to say, something to think, I know a lot of you are still talking about the Zach Collaros hit and the, I guess, what's right, what's wrong, what should have been called, what was called, why it shouldn't have been called. We had Manitoba people. There's a 204 numbers. If you still want to go down that rabbit hole, go nuts. Send it in. I'm all ears. 936-6262. We'll read it. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. And if you got a project coming up like I do in September, they can rent you anything from a spade to a welder to a small front-end loader, and they'll get it delivered. Prairie Land Rentals. We were going through the Riders injury report from today. And I know Colson was a little taken aback, but it is first practice of the week, right? So there is some, I call it load management. They call it load management. Just days that some of the vets take a 5, get out there, put on a pair of sweatpants. In Winnipeg, Zach Collaros was at practice, but he was in sweatpants. He wasn't in his gear, so we'll see what happens with Zach. I know Mike O'Shea is taking exception to people saying that Zach should maybe retire. He's a grown man. He'll make his own decisions. We won't make it for him. As for the Riders, the one that jumped out at me today, Tavon Campbell, did not participate. It says it says head as far as injury. So that one jumps out at me. Sam Emelis was limited. Also going down here, Dre McCray was limited. CJ Rivas did not participate. And Marcus Sales, again, did not participate. So we do have audio from Coach Mace, because I know a lot of you, like us, were concerned about Marcus Sales and what's up there. Coach Mace did address it at practice today.
It's day to day. I don't know. That guy Heel's funny, man. He's like Wolverine. I don't understand. So there's been weeks where I thought there was no shot, and then, miraculously he's good. So I'm not counting that guy out until game day, truthfully.
He heals weird. My wife would say that about me. I always have ailments, but then when there's a call to go golfing, obviously I'm healed up and ready to go. So, and at this point, 10-2, we're not rushing anybody back from injury. Obviously, you wouldn't, I wouldn't. I don't think they're going to do it. Coach Mace also on Kosi Onyeka's first start. Hold on, before we play this clip, Dave pointed this out. He's been with the team for 4 years, and his first start was last week in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I thought when he was out there, certainly I know he has, man. He's been working his tail off, and for us to put the trust in him to go out there and execute in a game of that nature, he full of energy. I thought he communicated incredibly well. Absolutely, he's got stuff to work on, but as does everybody. Everybody had some kind of a mistake throughout the game. So, but ultimately, we were clowning him like, hey, he was keeping the top of the defense, and he was playing free safety back there, But we'll get him up to speed on his corrections, just like anybody else. But happy we have Kos.
That's a lot. 4 years to grind it out, to stick with it, and then you get your start. I think Kos, as Coach called him, I think he might rank up there now. My favorite players. That's having determination, sticking with it, finally getting his start. Another thing, football in general, special teams, they don't get recognized enough. Like in school, your custodian probably should have been recognized more. I don't think I'd say I treated a custodian bad. My wife being in the system now, those guys put up with a lot. And kids these days and parents these days, they can just do whatever. So custodians out there, shout out to you. Actually, I remember that our elementary school custodian used to play floor hockey with us Tuesday and Thursday nights. He was out there dangling. He loved that. Easy day for him. But why I'm saying it is special teams. A lot of times you don't get the recognition that you deserve. But today, Dave wanted to point out Kerfala Exume and what he did, and Coach Mace on why he's been a great special teams player, his intelligence, his speed, or his athleticism.
Yeah, I would like to say it's just experience, but that'd be lying too, because he's been doing that since he got into the league. He's been an excellent special teamer, and honestly, I think that's it's an automatic for him to make a roster because of that talent. But what I don't think people take a look at is how much defense that he's played for us, and and the plays that he's made for us, and also having to go play special teams. Man, I know you guys think I'm BSing, but excellent human being. Awesome husband, great father, just a great guy, and he's going to do everything he can for his teammates, and everybody sees that. Easy guy to be around.
Special teams be a tough gig. It'd be grindy. We're going to hear from both Kerfala and Kosi a little bit more. Dave has some one-on-ones with them coming up. And again, the injury report, we'll kind of update that tomorrow on the show. Throughout the day here at 936-6262, we will be giving away tickets to the game this Saturday, 5 p.m. kickoff, Alouettes and Riders. But you got to play SaskTel Pick the Score. There's a catch. We need you to pick the score, 936-6262. Closest one, two, also a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. So Colson will award a pair of tickets to the game. We'll play it right until 6 o'clock here. We're not going to shorten up the window today. So if you want to play on that, get in on it. Also, going out on the Prairie Land Rentals text line quickly. One here, Brennan, I gave him a plug yesterday. He says, looks like the Riders look to be avoiding Davis Alexander again. McLeod Bethel Thompson taking off the 6th game and will likely start for the Owls on Saturday. That was what I was just going to get to. It looks like McLeod Bethel Thompson will be slinging it for the Alouettes on Saturday. Does that worry us? I don't know. Experienced QBs had some time. Montreal last week, though. They just did not look good. You could have put anybody back there throwing. They didn't look like a well-polished. Their execution wasn't there. Again, good football team coming in here, though, on Saturday. So it looks like McLeod Bethel Thompson, he's taken off the 6th gamer. He should be in the mixer coming up Saturday. I know there's a lot of people, too, speaking of the Edmonton Elks and what they did for us against Calgary last weekend. Didn't see that coming. And we can say it's the rematch. There's a lot of intensity. Did you see the upper bowl at Commonwealth Stadium? Man, there's like 250 people. We had November senior hockey game in the upper bowl there. But the Elks, regardless, pull the Riders a massive solid and take care of the Stamps. We had a message yesterday, and there's a lot of people from here are going, and I guess miss the Rider game because Morgan Wallen is playing at Commonwealth Stadium Friday night and Saturday night. Friday night, he's with Miranda Lambert. Saturday, he's with the great Brooks and Dunn. And if you don't know who Morgan Wallen is, I don't know what to tell you. He's like one of the biggest, largest touring acts, musical touring acts in the world right now. Like Taylor Swift, yeah, you would have whatever Oasis is doing. Again, I've said it. I think they're overrated, but obviously I'm in the minority because they're selling out everything everywhere. People are going crazy over them. But Morgan Wallen, and then what he does is he walks out with a celebrity from the town, Marshawn Lynch in Seattle. When he was just in Toronto, it was Joey Batista, and he had his bat. I don't know if you saw this on social media. And so Joey Bats is walking out with Morgan Wallen, and then he does the bat flip. Morgan throws the bat like Joey did, and he hit Batista's wife, who was filming it. So, gotta laugh. I think she's okay. Who is going to walk out with him in Edmonton? I was listening to Edmonton Sports Talk yesterday, and I think they were kind of going to, and I was like, is it going to be Connor and Leon? They're the biggest things in Edmonton right now. Or would it be cool? 936-6262. Who are we missing here? Edmonton sports or entertainment, I guess, royalty. I don't know if there's any famous like actors or singers from Edmonton. I don't know that. So let's stick with sports. What we know. I think Gretz, if he could hop on a PJ, head up there. Gretz and Messier, maybe, or just one of them walking out with Morgan Wallen. Football-wise, when I think Edmonton Eskimos, I know they're not the Elks, but they were the Eskimos. Greats. I was a big Tracy Ham fan. Huge Tracy Ham fan. But I think Gizmo Williams. I think that Gizmo walked out with Morgan Wallen. Gizmo looks like he spent a lot of time in the sun, too. That would be a good one. I don't know if there's any other. Like hockey-wise, maybe it should be Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse walks out with a balaclava bag with a money sign on it. Yeah, then he takes out Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen can't play. And then Darnell Nurse really does the city of Edmonton in again.
Talking famous people from Edmonton.
Give me a hint. I'll play trivia with you. I'm trying to think of...
Okay, I got two that I did not know were from Edmonton. I didn't know one of them was Canadian. They're both actors, both guys. One of them is a time-traveling film series.
Movie series or film series? Like Back to the Future?
Yes.
Michael J. Fox?
Yep.
Michael J. Fox, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
He's got Parkinson's, though. That would be tough, but that would get a massive ovation. Okay, so Michael J. Fox is from Edmonton.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Okay.
Me either.
Number 2.
This guy is rather famous for doing cop TV shows, we'll say.
Oh. Beverly Hills Cop, Eddie Murphy. Grew up in St. Albert. No.
No.
Cop movies.
Yeah, his most recent one is about being a old guy going into the police force for the first time.
Naked Gun?
No.
Fletch?
No.
Chevy Chase?
We're talking different demographics here. The Rookie is the show.
Never seen it.
Nathan Fillion.
Okay, I've heard of that guy's name.
Yeah, I don't know him very well either, but also didn't even know he was Canadian, and that's my bad.
Dan from Regina on the text line. Didn't even think of that. Where are they? See, when I worked at the Goat in Lloydminster, Mom would call in.
Yeah.
Nickelback. Chad Kroger. Maybe his brother, too. Ryan Peake, Mike Kroger. Where are they from? Hannah. They're from Hannah. Down the road. Nice one. Nickelback. Hey? And then also we got Alfonso Davies. Forgot that he was from Edmonton.
Yeah.
It's got to be an Oiler, though, right?
I would think so.
Leon ripping darts. For sure. Walking out, shirtless, jean jacket over top. PA style. Yeah. Alfonso Davies. Michael J. Fox would be great. Is that it? That's all we got from Edmonton for famous people?
There's more. Whether or not I know them or you know them is the question.
Yet to be seen.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to dig this up here. Let's maybe go to break. When we come back, we'll hear from Kerfala Exume on playing a little special teams with our riders. It is the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday, streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM. For Saskatchewan Lotteries Tuesday, I love Sports Cage listeners that text in and have my stupid sense of humor. Absolutely love it. First off, the YouTube channel, Derek says no points for Montreal on Saturday with McLeod Bethel Thompson starting. Let's not be that critical. But then Prairieland Rentals text line, Stuart Skinner redemption tour. That would be nice. Give Stu a big standing ovation. What is it going to be, like 60,000? The concrete jungle there. Yeah. Adam and Theodore. Let's do it. Why wouldn't a guy? Let's go. He says famous people from Edmonton to walk out with Morgan Wallen. Mark Carney. He goes, I'm here for the outrage that would ensue. Yeah, that red sweater with his elbows up. Or that dance he was doing with his wife. I don't care where you stand politically on it. How embarrassing. That's one of those things you look back, someone plays a home movie and going, what the heck was I thinking? Why was I dancing like that? What was I doing? Oh, that's so embarrassing. Mark Carney. Good one. Adam in Theodore. Famous Edmonton people that should walk out with Morgan Wallen for his shows coming up Friday and Saturday. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, Morgan Wallen, one of the biggest acts in the world, He's playing Edmonton Friday and Saturday. Sold out, Commonwealth, 2 shows. He walks out with a celebrity. Joey Batista was in Toronto, threw his bat, hit his wife accidentally. Marshawn Lynch, who you should look up, Colson, some of the other ones. I've seen him on, and it's usually sports stars. Wasn't it in San Francisco? George Kittle? It was George Kittle maybe that ran out? I say Gizmo Williams, one of the nights. Let's go. The Giz. Tommy Chong, born 1938 in Edmonton. Dean from Bladworth. Yeah, who did you say, Colson? There was... there's some on here I can't even read.
There's a guy by the name of Doug Pruden.
Doug Pruden, no idea.
He holds multiple world records for
Athlete?
push-ups.
Oh, for what?
Push-ups. Just one of those guys who just gets really good at one thing and grinds it out.
Doug ain't gonna make the cut.
I don't think so, but it's funny if they bring a celebrity who everyone's like, who's that? What?
I didn't mind the Nickelback thing from Hannah, Alberta, just down the road. Didn't mind that. What about some old, like Gretz Messier? Yes. What other former Oilers would get a big ovation? Ryan Smith? Ryan, for sure. Walk out with his high gloves on. Former Moose Jaw Warrior. Ryan Smith would be a good one. Grant Fuhr, for sure. Pokey Reddick. Probably not, but I liked Pokey. Jeff Bookaboom and Charlie Huddy. 936-6262. If you just want to make us laugh, go ahead. Or if you have someone serious that should walk out with Morgan Wallen at the Edmonton shows this weekend. Back on the rider front here. I said it. Dave Thomas today talking special teams with Karfala Exume.
Karfala, first I want to talk a little bit about special teams. I was talking with one of your coaches and a couple of your teammates prior to the Winnipeg game. They said, you want to see how it's done right? Watch how X does it. So I watched, and wow, you were flying around. How much pride do you take in that?
A lot, a whole lot. You know, sometimes we work in shadows and everything, but it's great team effort when you guys trust in you and you trust in your guys. It all works out well. So it's fun. We're having fun out there, so it makes it even funner.
Now, it's also working out well in the fact that your group is giving up the least big play returns thus far this season. Is that something you were aware of or that you take pride in?
Well, it's for sure. It's something that we take pride in. Everybody wants to get the tackle, want to get down there quick, and yeah, we take pride because we want to make the tackle. We don't. It's like a battle, so yeah, we take a lot of pride in it.
A lot of fans don't understand how much goes into one of those special teams from the moment the ball is snapped till the final whistle sounds. There's a lot of things that have to be coordinated. How much preparation work do you do week in and week out to be ready?
A lot. Every day you got to put in a little bit of work in, and it's at the end of the day, it's complementary football. You want to do your part, so make sure you're sound every week.
Do you watch a lot of video on the opposition and try to understand what they're going to do and anticipate that?
Yeah, I try to find some tendencies, and our coaches does a good job to prepare us well with the scouting report and everything. So yeah, we go over it a lot with the group, by myself. So yeah.
How much changes week to week? Is there a lot?
Yeah, obviously, because now sitting at the top, teams want to give us their best shot. So yeah, we gotta stay ready. It's every week we want to be 1-0, so we gotta put in the preparation. We never know what team's gonna have for us in store, so we gotta make sure we're ready.
Tell me about preparation and complementary football when it comes to you, as you find yourself at times in the defensive backfield coming in. Do you prepare any different? You're a veteran in this league.
No, you can't prepare any differently. Every day, every week, every day, you work like as if you're gonna be a starter, as if you never know what's going to happen, and the coaches, I feel like they trust us enough to be ready to, when your number is called, to go out there and do what you got to do. So every week I prepare as if I'm playing, and you never know what's going to happen.
How fun has this week been in the DB's room after 4 interceptions last week?
Oh, very, very fun. Guys finally getting the ball, and we know we've been doing our job right. We just haven't been able to all of us have been able to have an interception. Now to see all of us having an interception and stuff like that, it's definitely amazing. It's fun.
Coming up against Montreal, does it mean a little more this week?
Like I said, it's every week we just want to go 1-0.
Oh, let's go 1-0 this week. Now 10-2. Thanks so much for this.
Thank you very much.
Let's on the YouTube chat. Sea Lightning. Caleros has to take some blame for not recognizing the backdoor blitz. 7 rushers, 6 blockers. Get rid of the ball faster. Yes, it's easy to say. Revis made a textbook sack, hit Caleros' chest, both arms, 100% chance of a fumble, no penalty. So you must have missed the show yesterday, Sea Lightning, because it was hot and heavy about that. And Maz and I agreed, has to be a flag. In this day and age, in this football. Luke Mullender was like, nope, physical game. This is what you sign up for. Totally get all that. Do I think it should be a flag? No. But it is. In where we are with football. Just like hockey. Look at a big hit in hockey. Now, we're back in the 80s. We're talking about Oiler greats. Jeff Bookaboom hit someone coming across the middle. Marty McSorley, that's a text that came in. That'd be a good one. Had a few beers with him, and where was that this year? Kenora. Yeah. God, that was a good time. But it's just different times. So I think it's a flag. 5 minutes left in the third quarter, whatever it is. 15 yards, move on. Great play. Revis. Whoa. Yeah, he probably should have the wherewithal to pick it up, get rid of the ball, all that. If you played quarterback in the CFL, you can really let us know like Darian did yesterday. If not, if you played in high school or whatever like the rest of us, it is, you got to flag it. I would want to flag if Harris is hit like that, for sure. But in our demographic, when we grew up, most of us, maybe, I don't know, I'm 48, born in 77. Different time, right? Yeah, be tougher, be all this. We're telling our kids, you can't be so soft. I mean, you don't be a donkey, but just don't be so soft. Play tough, play hard. But the rules have changed. Quarterbacks are protected. So, I don't like it, but I think, yeah, got to be a flag there. And I would want it for Trevor Harris. What a blitz dial-up call, though. Absolutely love it. We're going to go to break here. Nail Yakupov. Who are some of the Oiler coaches that were just like really hated in there? Could they do it? Slats could walk out, cigar in his mouth. We're talking about who's going to walk out with Morgan Wallen in Edmonton Friday and Saturday. 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. We're going to go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline when we come back and talk about the Regina Pat Canadians hosting a big event coming up next year. It is the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Welcome back to the show for Saskatchewan Lotteries on this Tuesday. Colson's with me. A lot of guests coming up here. We're going to talk Regina Pat Canadians in a bit. I got to say, is it Kyle or... Yeah, Kyle in Calgary? Maybe Keel? He says, I know he's from Calgary, but Bret Hart. We're talking about who could maybe walk out with Morgan Wallen. The big show is Friday and Saturday in Edmonton. I think they would say pound sand, kick rocks, Calgary people. This is Edmonton's show, although there's people, like how many people from Saskatchewan I know are going, I was supposed to go to the show, screwed up the dates, another story, another time. But yeah, I don't think Bret Hart would do it. They'd stick to another Mark Carney came in. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, he's from Edmonton, kinda, I guess. Alicia Cuthbert's from Alberta. I don't know where. Colson says Michael J. Fox. He's from Edmonton. That'd be a good one. Nathan Fillion, the actor. Katie Lang is from Edmonton. Man, I despise her music. Constant Craving and all that, but she's famous. I don't think it'll be her. I think it'll be an athlete. 2 votes for Gizmo Williams with me. Who are the other famous Elks? We'll get to that in a bit. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Tonight, no need to cook. Grab some of the Greek favorites you like. Maybe a salad, souvlaki, ribs, wings, burgers. Call your local Western Pizza. Let's go out there and talk about the Regina Pat Canadians. We were kind of the first outfit to talk about them all of last year. Then they make this magical run and they get it done. Warren Fry, general manager, joining us from the Pat Seas. Warren, thanks for making some time today. Big news came down Friday. You guys have been awarded Western Regionals. Can you take us through the process, how this all comes about, and then you guys throw your hat in the ring?
Sure. Well, Saskatchewan gets to host every 3 years or so. It alternates between Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Northern Ontario. The last few times it's been hosted in Saskatchewan, the Pat Canadians have put a bid in. Most recently, I was involved in the one that we a few years ago. In that, we put a significant amount of effort into that bid. We weren't successful. Ormond was awarded it, so we built off that bid and then tweaked it a little bit with the feedback we got from the league, and submitted our bid for this year's event, which we're extremely happy to have. I think it fits well with our timeline of our team and who we have playing on our team, and I think it's a good story. TELUS Cup champions potentially get to host the Western Regionals and have a chance to return to the national stage.
When was the last time Regina hosted this?
2004. So it's been over 20 years.
Wow. And then you mentioned the league. Is it the league? Is it Hockey Sask that kind of is really involved in narrowing it down?
No, it's the league. The league is the host, and they get to put out the criteria, and they get to select the team host on behalf of our league. Hockey Saskatchewan, I don't know if they play a significant role in the selection process. Obviously, they're a great support for us. They were a great support for when we traveled to Chilliwack last year. So I think they would have oversight essentially, but our league has the final say.
You mentioned about, how the team is being built and it fits in, and last year, winning the national championship and all that. Quality, West, when the Memorial Cup is being awarded too, they look at, okay, how good's your team going to be? Quality of team, right? Which will be interesting to see in Kelowna this year. Another story for another time. Quality of team to play in this. Does that play into it quite a bit?
I wouldn't say it's a significant factor. They want to have that had facilities to host an event like this. They had a number of other things that they wanted in there, the banquet facilities. They wanted, what we would provide for teams, such as dressing rooms, workout rooms, AV equipment. And then there is a little bit, I think it's not specifically stated in the criteria, but I think there's a bit of merit that would be considered. I don't think it explicitly was in the bid guidelines, but I would like to think that with the Pat Canadians finishing in the top 2 of the league 9 out of the last 10 years, I think that would partly come into it. And then also a little bit of equity. Like I said, Saskatchewan gets to host every 3 years, so I think they try to spread it around the league. It's been around, since we've hosted in 2004, I think it's been to Tisdale, Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Prince Albert, Saskatoon. I think it's actually been his ice. So.
Yeah, and I would think, and I know you probably don't want to talk about it, obviously, the names that are going to be on the Pat Seas this year with Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh, that's got to play into it. You mentioned the facilities, and you kind of broke up there a bit, but is this all at C6 at the Cooperators? Was the Brandt Center ever an option?
I wouldn't say it wasn't an option. We put the bid in with the Cooperator Center as our primary arena. I think you were around last year when we had our playoff run. It has a sort of an electric atmosphere when you pack that place.
Yeah.
It's our home arena, and we have a little bit of an advantage when we're playing at home. And to move to the Brand Center would almost feel like a road game to us. That's not to say if something happens and we instantly wouldn't consider it, but I think right now what was in the bid package was a cooperator center.
Yeah. What's the gentleman's name that does music for you?
Luke Walters.
Yeah, Luke. I think Luke's got to be in the bid, right? Luke does such an amazing job with the tunes there at C6. Gets everybody buzzing. Okay, now I saw it on social media. What can you tell people? Because you guys are out there now. It's going to be a hot ticket in town. There's no doubt about it. The regular season, and when Schultz and Pugh are in the lineup, for sure it's going to be a buzz. You guys are out right now selling your season tickets, so just go through that, the prices, and then that also locks people in for a chance to buy passes to Westerns.
Yeah, we considered adding on the right to playoff tickets with a season ticket package when we had such big crowds in the playoffs last year, and then with us getting the regionals, we thought we'd extend it to that as well. We don't typically sell a lot of season tickets. It's mainly a walk-up crowd. You've been to the games before. It hasn't been a huge issue prior to last year's playoffs where it was hard to get a seat and it was hard to get a ticket. We think we can build with the momentum we have from last year, and then having a solid lineup as we're going to have this year, I think will just naturally attract people to come watch us.
All right. What is a season ticket for an adult? And
for an adult, it's $170. For a senior or student, it's $90. 12 and under is still free. And buying a season ticket will guarantee you first access to purchase season or playoff ticket and TELUS regional passes.
Right on. And then they just email manager at Regina Pat Canadians. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, this is exciting. It's big news. I think it was never a doubt when people heard that who was in play to host it. But Luke does a great job. He'll be on his toes for it. Warren, thanks so much for taking a few minutes here and explaining it. And of course, we'll be all over you guys again this year covering it.
Now, we'd like to thank the league for the opportunity to host as well. They're very supportive, and it's one of the best leagues in the country.
There we go. All right, Warren. Have a good day.
Thanks, Barney.
Right on. Regina Pat Canadians General Manager Warren Fry. So, if you're looking for tickets, season tickets, manager at reginapatcanadians.ca. Obviously, it's a small community. If you know someone that's got a kid on the team or a relative and all that, they can get you hooked up with tickets as well. And then very reasonably priced, to watch what could be one of the best AAA U18, we'll call it midget teams, and I don't know how long. I had fortunate enough to cover the Saskatoon Contacts. What was that? 2003, 2004, and I was working at Global, and they made the run. They won the TELUS. They won Western Regionals. They won Nationals. Obviously Province 2, and that was a heck of a team too. But what we're going to see this year with the Regina Pat Canadians, I'll say once in a lifetime, to have, Maddox Schultz, Liam Pugh, and then on and on and on, not to single out those two, but they are the big names. So if you're looking for season tickets, it's going to be an awesome ride all year with the Pat C's. SportsCage will be all over it like we were last year. You're watching on the stream, sportscage.com. If not, picking it up on the radio, maybe for harvesting out there. Thanks for tuning in. We are the home of local sports, the SportsCage on 620 CKRM. Riders are back on the practice field today. Marcus Sales not participating. Tavon Campbell did not participate. Also, they said it's head. We'll see what's up tomorrow. Opening line against Montreal, -8 for the Riders. Get this, the Stamp's still the favorite to win the Grey Cup, +245. Saskatchewan Roughriders second at +280. You missed it, the Montreal Alouettes have activated McLeod Bethel-Thompson from the 6-game injured list following a 3-game absence. We could see him Saturday here at Mosaic. Calgary Stampeders, defensive lineman yesterday came down. Flo Merlade suffered a torn Achilles. He's done for the season. Regina Rams, they moved up in the U Sport National rankings to 6th. U of S Huskies are 5th. Blue Jays starting a big one at home versus Houston tonight, just 2 games up on the Yankees in the AL East. Big news for Calgary Flames fans. They signed goaltender Dustin Wolf to a 7-year, $52.5 million contract extension. The deal carries an average annual value of $7.5 million. Western Hockey League preseason tonight. Under the orange top, Pats hosting the Moose Jaw Warriors, little SJ2, Flin Flons in Swan Valley. Wewak C. Capo is at Melville, and Estevan is in Weyburn. SportsCage poll today at sportscage.com. Who is the best running back in the Canadian Football League? You can vote at sportscage.com. In hour one, the sports ticker is for Reliance Heathwater Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. We do have some comments here from AJ Ouellette. Some of the text messages are coming in are awesome. But AJ Ouellette, today at practice, Dave had to ask him about the feeling of coming off the Labor Day rematch win.
It's what I was expecting coming into the season, right? Beat them here and then beat them there. Just kind of going to it. We left a lot of plays out there on the field, just mental mistakes, not working well as a full group. So trying to correct that this week.
Confident into the season. On the YouTube chat, and I know we had this yesterday a number of times. I don't know if, Curtis, we got to the bottom of it, but Greg says, "Where's our Banjo Bowl trophy? The Boo Bombers are pathetic. I'm taking my trophy and going home. They're about to lose a lot of fans." Yeah, where is it? Is there a legit trophy? Did someone misplace it? Someone not bring it back? It's always a thing. So yeah, we'll get our crack team on it here. Try and figure that out for you, Greg. Back to AJ Ouellette, though. Of course, we've heard the coaches talk about it, the players talk about it so much. You got a Montreal team coming in that didn't look very good last week, but he says it's easy to not look beyond going 1-0 this week.
We beat Winnipeg in Winnipeg, and Andrew was not the happiest guy because the film showed some mistakes, right? So never be too satisfied and keep working.
Okay, and then this next one, I got to go through here and finish off. Trevor Harris on Saturday in Winnipeg, 2 carries, 10 yards, 5-yard average for the speedster out of the backfield. AJ on Trevor Harris running the ball to the 5-yard line last week.
Back-to-back runs, Team Mobile is loose. He's coming for my job. I hope I can finish out as running back. He'll stay quarterback, but he's looking good out there with the little dead leg, and yeah.
T-Mobile. That is top shelf right there. So much fun. All right, Sports Cage. We're going to get to more of your text messages on who should walk out with Morgan Wallen in Edmonton Friday and Saturday. Keep them coming. We got more for Tommy Chong from Edmonton and a couple more for Nickelback. But you guys let us know. 936-6262. When we come back, Arash Madani will be with us. It's the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday, streaming at sportscage.com through our YouTube channel. And if not, you can catch us on the streams or on 620 CKRM. Welcome back. Hour 2 of the show. Saskatchewan Lotteries, Colson's with me. We're going to go out and talk to Arash Madani here in a bit. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Here we go. I said I love it. I love the humor. People that are sending in pictures of the harvest as well. That's great. Roscoe sent in a picture of him smoking ribs. Actually, it was a video. One of the things we're having fun with today is Friday and Saturday in Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium. Shout out Elks for doing the Riders a solid, by the way. Morgan Wallen's playing. If you don't know who Morgan Wallen is, one of the biggest musical acts in the world right now. Sold out shows. Miranda Lambert's with him on Friday. and Brooks and Dunn, the legends. I don't want to get down the Brooks and Dunn best song thing again because you guys all participated in that, but Brooks and Dunn's with him. And then he walks to the stage, and they showed the video, and he's always with a celebrity from that city for the most part, or that area, or tied to that city. I was just looking up Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Brooks and Dunn, David Spade, Mike Tyson, Brett Favre. Those are the kind of people that have walked out with him. Joey Batista in Toronto. And then it was funny because they did the bat throw and it hit Joey Batista's wife, legit, who was filming it. But she's okay. So I'm like, Edmonton, famous Edmonton people. We got a number of votes for Nickelback walking out with them. Not so popular was Adam. Was it Adam from Theodore that said Mark Carney, who's from Edmonton? How would that go over? And Berta. Okay, then we got Connor McDavid loves the spotlight. Have him walk out. Michael from Speedy Creek. Go to one, Mike. How's Wong's doing these days, Mike, by the way? Love that place. I said McDavid with Lenny, his dog. So we talked about Lenny yesterday. McDavid and Draisaitl seem like the obvious ones. I said Gizmo Williams. Bring him back. Let him do it. He's a famous Edmonton Eskimo from years past. Matt Dunnigan played there. Did Damon Allen play there? Damon Allen played with every team, I think, but the Riders. Warren Moon, but he doesn't, that might be a tough ask. Gretz, Messier, Sather. We've had a Dave Brown, someone said. Michael J. Fox, originally from Edmonton, would be cool, but unfortunately Mike's battling Parkinson's. That would be we had a Marty McSorley, Glen Suitor with the cigar. I said Pokey Reddick. Maybe Pokey Reddick, Grant Fuhr. Peter Ing. Keep him coming. 936-6262. Who should he walk out with? Haley Wickenheiser. No name. Someone sending in from Shaunavon, Saskatchewan. Nah. Then we've had some Calgary. Bret Hart was one. That's Calgary. Stuart Skinner, another good one. So love playing the game. Thanks for participating, and some of you making me laugh. That's great. But I think Nickelback, because they're from Hannah, just down the road. They are the clubhouse leaders so far, followed by McDavid. We'll get to that more in a bit. Also this hour, don't forget, we got winning. $50 up for grabs today from Cathedral Pump Jacks Cathedral. I got it backwards. On 13th and Albert here in Regina. We're going to play trivia. You're going to have to dial in. That's coming up in about 20 minutes time, Clutch Performer. And we're going to talk flag football with Tim Seiferling from Regina, who is on his way to Panama, assistant coach of Canada's women's flag team. But right now, let's go talk for Brian Golly to Arash Madani.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Famous Edmontonians. Play along, Arash. Who should walk out? First off, you've seen this on social media, right? When Morgan Wallen's walking out, it's actually a solid play. Nice flex. Who would you think?
Look, in Toronto, not only did he have Jose Bautista come out with him, he rocked a Roy Halladay throwback Jays jersey.
Oh yeah,
in the ballpark. Like, that's very good.
Who do you think the front runner is? McDavid and Draisaitl?
I think so. If Morgan Wallen came to Truro, who would be coming out with him? 5 for 5, Brett Lawther, Barney.
I said yesterday I'm not talking about Brett all week. I'm not talking about Brett all week. I talked about it yesterday and I said I'm letting it be all that, but the floor is yours, my friend. I think you have some sort, you think there's an apology that should be coming.
Well, I mean, the kid's been under fire with all the stuff going on in his personal life, and yeah, he had a couple of hiccups here and there. But here's the thing when you're a veteran kicker. You're going to figure it out. And Brett Lauder has figured it out. This is not a first-year guy. He's not a rookie. He's not a second year, not a third year. He's a vet. These are the ups and downs that go through in a season. Like, do we really feel every offensive lineman grades 100? This was inevitable. And it's just one of those things. You're winning games. Let him figure it out. And he has. And to do it the way he did on the road, I'm standing by what I told you last week, Barney. There's your most outstanding Canadian in the 2025 Grey Cup.
Okay, so it's the old song and dance that the season really begins at Labor Day or after Labor Day. Okay, so Winnipeg, Sasky, Riders got 2 in the win column on Winnipeg. What do we learn here the last 2 weeks about these teams?
The Bombers are in trouble. The Bombers are in big trouble. And if it wasn't for BC just vomiting all over themselves, it would be a lot worse than it looks right now. Look, Winnipeg's gotten really lucky, and the fact that they're 500 right now is a miracle. But you think back before Labor Day, they beat Ottawa, and then they beat a Montreal team that's a mess and without a starting quarterback. I don't know what Zach's situation is. I listened to Mike O'Shea's entire media scrum today that went 6 minutes. Zach was around. I don't get the sense that he's going to be starting this week, but I don't know. I look at it, and if I'm picking anybody in the West, Winnipeg's probably at the bottom of the list.
What do you think about the hit?
I think the hit was not dirty, but by letter of the law, it's a foul.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't look, the only one person knows if there's malicious intent. There is nothing of this hit suggests that, and Zach's holding on to the football. There was nothing late. He did not leave his feet. This was, it's a violent game. Now, do I believe there should have been a flag on the play? Yeah, because that's the way the game is officiated today. That is the rule. But that didn't have the ingredients of somebody coming out and wanting to KO a quarterback.
Echoing my stance on it for the last 48 hours. It's not bad. I'm not trying to be a bad guy here. Just where the game is in 2025, that's a flag all day long.
Yeah.
And if it's on Harris, we want the flag. We hope Zach's okay.
You hope Zach's okay.
That is the main thing, especially after he comes on the show. What a dude. Awesome. You hope he's okay.
You hope he's okay because he's a human being, B, a father and a husband and a young, vibrant, otherwise healthy guy who's got the rest of his life ahead of him. And Mike O'Shea came out today in his media availability and called Milt Stiegel's comments that Collaros shouldn't play anymore. And I'm putting these in air quotes, but this was his line. O'Shea called it cavalier. I actually think they were caring. They were caring statements that go far beyond football. And Milt's seen it. Milt's seen it firsthand. Milt's seen it with so many teammates, so many opponents over the years of what football can do to you down the road when no one's paying attention after the business, after the game chews you up and spits you out.
Let's hope he's okay. He was at practice today, obviously in sweats, not participating. I'm sure there'll be an update tomorrow. Okay. I know since the start of the year, you were not, when that stock on Calgary Stampeders stock came up, you were saying, no way, Jose. I'm not buying it. Now, because of our friends in Edmonton who'll be partying to Morgan Wallen, this weekend with the win. The gap's now a little bit longer. That's what we need. We got a little bit of a cushion on the Stamps.
You know what I'm just trying to think of like the proper analogy for the Calgary Stampeders. They're kind of like Northern Telecom. Remember Nortel stock in like the mid 90s, just going through their BlackBerry? They're just like, everybody had it. You got BBM going, but it's just the blue brick. And then like I love BlackBerry, by the way.
I still have. I have like 4 or 5 of them, and I pull them up and I look at old text messages. And my kids are like, who's that from with hearts on it? Don't worry about it.
Keyboard. Yeah, the keyboard. You didn't even have to look at it. That's the Calgary Stampeders. They're the pearl. They're the torch, they're the bold, they're the blue brick. They were yesterday's news. They had a moment, but they have no staying power. And look, there's still a third of the season to go. And you got Rankin out there. You got Justin Rankin rushing for 204 yards, averaging better than 12 yards a carry. Look, the Stamps are 8-4 right now. I think if they go 2-6 to end the season, that's a win for them. If you held on to any of the stock and you're expecting a rebound, don't. It's Nortel, it's BlackBerry. The iPhone is coming. The iPhone is up the street in Edmonton. The Elks are for real. I have no idea how Cody Fajardo continues to do it, but the Stamps are not. They're being exposed on defense finally. When we talked to Lapo a couple of weeks ago, you talk to people around the league, Barney, and you say, how is Bob Slowick's defense doing this? They don't show you anything. It's very vanilla. I just think at this stage of the season, people have figured them out, and I'm not buying them. I'm not buying them at all.
BlackBerry stock opened the day at $5.32. It's now at $5.18. So yeah,
they're still dropping.
We are gonna hear from 403 text messages here coming in and all that. I love it. Jeffrey's gonna pop in on the text line too. He's a staunch Stamps supporter. I'm not gonna go as far as you. I still think there's something there. The odds makers, where I looked actually today, Arash, still have them as the Grey Cup favorites, believe it or not.
Calgary.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess because of their head-to-head with Sask.
Yeah.
But at this stage of things, the Riders have put themselves in a really good position for the bye.
For sure.
And hosting the West Final at home in November in the elements, huge.
If you would have said this to me, if you would have asked me, and I wasn't able to look over on either of the screens here and check it out, if you're going to say who's got the better record, Edmonton or BC, I would have said BC, and I probably would have went with 4 and 8. Edmonton and BC actually have the same darn record.
They're both 5-7, and Winnipeg 6-6. Like, it is not out of the realm of possibility here, Barney, whatsoever, for the Elks to overtake BC and Winnipeg for the third spot in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder where the Elks would be if they had started Cody Fajardo week 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but it's a first-year coach. It was going to take a little bit of time. It's happened faster than I thought. I don't know what to make of BC, man. To me, they're so talented. They have a really good quarterback. They have skilled guys. They have double-digit leads in the final minutes, and they can't finish. Now, can that be rectified? Sure. Is there still another? There's still a lot of runway this season, but it's bizarre. It's bizarre how they've really pissed it away. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if the Lions can rebound just because the talent's there. But man, they can't seem to get out of their own way in the final few minutes of regulation.
I call the Lions two-faced. They're like the Seinfeld episode, the Festivus episode, where the one lady, she's two-faced. That's how I describe the Lions. Okay, we love our tackle football. The university game right now with the Regina Rams, 3-0, 6th-ranked team in the country. Love it. But NFL season starts last week, Thursday. We get Thursday, we get Friday. They own Sunday. And then, not to be Chris Collinsworth foaming at the mouth, I'm keeping my pants on here, but what a Sunday nighter, and all the records that come with that comeback and what Buffalo did. Keep in mind, one Barney Shynkaruk took the Bills on the money line. If it was a paper ticket, I would have ripped it up.
You would have, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think, Barney, about the sequence of events that had to happen for Buffalo to win that game in the fourth quarter. Right? You're down 30-15. The Bills' offense had done nothing. So let's go through the sequence of events. First, it was a deflected pass for a touchdown. Then Derrick Henry, who's as reliable as they get, he fumbles. Then Jair Alexander needlessly tripped and tackled Keon Coleman on the way to the end zone. If he didn't do that, Baltimore would have had time. Yeah. But still, the Bills, without a timeout, needed to get their field goal operation on the field with a geriatric kicker who hadn't even been there for 72 hours, and they'd never even practiced it. And the entire unit had to come on the field, get the whole thing down. The operation succeeded, and they kick it through. And Matt Prater, for he is a jolly good fellow, 30-15 turned into deuce, and then advantage Buffalo, win Buffalo. It was awesome. It was fun, and it honestly, man, it made no sense. And I think that's why it was as enjoyable as it was.
Who had the better weekend? Calling yesterday at 11 p.m. Eastern, the end of the weekend. Prater or J.J. McCarthy?
I'm going to go off the board. Micah Parsons.
I thought you were going to go. What is it? Danny Dimes or whatever they call him.
Oh, Daniel Jones. Yeah, he had a pretty good one too. But does it really count when you play the Miami Dolphins? Like, the NFL right now feels like 31 plus 1. Parsons was awesome. Parsons was everywhere. Parsons is a game changer. Parsons immediately puts Green Bay into Super Bowl contention. McCarthy, what he did in the fourth quarter was incredible. But, man, I don't know if you saw Dan Quinn. So Green Bay's playing Washington on Thursday night, short week. Somebody asked Dan Quinn, the Commanders coach, what are your thoughts on how to deal with Micah Parsons? He said, I just wouldn't play him if I'm the Packers. That's what I would. So that's what they're hoping for at this stage of things.
Blue Jays open a 3-game series with the Astros tonight, and they avoid 2 of Houston's starting pitchers. Man, it's a roller coaster ride. That Yankee series was going into this one with Houston. Where are the Jays? Thoughts on the Jays? They only got a 2-gamer.
Yeah, they're up a couple of games, and they have their horses going. Gausman and Barrios get this thing started. But, Barney, today, the Jays putting Bo Bichette on the 10-game injured list with what they're calling a sprained knee. Now, it was a pretty violent slide into home plate. I think it was Saturday in the Bronx, just before the rain delay. Bo ended up finishing the game, but then didn't play Sunday. They had the off day yesterday. The fact that he's going on the injured list now in the second week of September in a pennant race, So this is huge. Look, Bichette's been their most productive offensive threat. He has been their best hitter. Not Vlad, not Springer. Addison Barger's cooled off in the second half of the season. Bichette has been the engine. So to me, yes, the Jays pitching is huge and it's critical, and the bullpen's a disaster, but their starters have been fine. If you don't have 11 in the mix, that changes the complexion of your lineup entirely for the Blue Jays, and that's going to be intriguing to watch.
Nervous times for all hardcore Blue Jay fans that I know.
Yeah.
Really, really nervous times. All right, buddy. Thursday. That Thursday nighter's a gooder. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. We'll catch up then.
By the way, all hail Brett Lawther.
Hey, send him a Western pizza tonight. When you have a little kid, you don't want to cook. Call up
We really
Spiro.
should.
Paul's right
We
on.
really
Okay.
should.
Talk to you Thursday, bud.
See you, bud.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani is for another beauty. Brian Golly, Smart Investing Solutions. You got to be smart with your money. Brian would tell you, hold up on that BlackBerry stock there. Call Brian at 546-2533. Right now is the time to start calling. 936-6262. Toll free if you want Colson to grab the dime. 1-866-767-0620, because we are going to play Pump Jacks Cathedral Trivia when we come back. $50 to Pump Jacks. If you lose, you still get a lunch. Coming up after the break. Start dialing now. It's a Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. Clutch performer. If you watched it last night, if you're into watching Monday Night Tackle Football, J.J. McCarthy from Minnesota. What a performance in the fourth quarter. First quarterback to, 3 touchdowns in the fourth. I had my notes here. And I had the Vikes on the money line. JJ, Vikes fans, how exciting does that make you? Probably a little overreaction today from you. This is a franchise. We're going to Super Bowls and all that, but ride it out. Chicago didn't look that bad. JJ McCarthy is our clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077.
Honorable mention.
Sure.
Buffalo's kicker.
Prater.
Yeah. Hitting the game winner. Finishing the icing on the cake on that comeback.
Yeah, he was there for less than 100 hours. He was kicking in Arizona, took flights to get there, blah, 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 blah. And he's on the sideline, and I'm like, how nervous is this guy? It's going to come down to him. Boom. Nails it. No questions asked. What did he played 3 games in there in his life in that Buffalo Stadium? So, yeah, good honorable mention. Again, clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park. All right, here it is. It's Tuesday, that time of the week. Pump Jacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert. Live music on weekends. Before a Rider game Saturday and after the Rider game, if you're not going to Keith Hibben, I'm telling you, the dry ribs, on point. Awesome place to hang out in Regina. It'll be packed this weekend. But it's time for Pump Jacks Trivia. Are we going to play the intro? Sure.
It's time for SportsCage Trivia for Pump Jacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
Okay. Aaron? Yeah. We got Aaron. Aaron, can you hear me? On the telephone line.
I can hear you, brother.
Right on. How's it going today? What are you doing?
And not much. Just got home. I was actually in Regina. I took Mom for a doctor's appointment, so just got home and listening to you on the cage, listening to some stuff, learning, and getting ready for the big game this weekend.
Where's home?
I'm actually from Kenora, but I used to live in Yorkton.
Right on.
Your buddy that talked to you about the card last time, we were talking about those lovely benefits, and it looks like the Riders are doing some of that now.
Yeah, that's right. You got it. All right. Not sure if you heard the show yesterday, but we're playing for $50 from Pump Jacks here. You got 10 seconds to answer it. Yesterday, we had defensive back coach Joshua Bell on the program. Great interview. If anyone out there hasn't heard it, go back and listen to. He won the Super Bowl with what team? 10 seconds, starting now.
Joshua Bell. Who did he win that Super Bowl? I know he played with Calgary. wasn't with. Who did he play with? Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Would that be? I don't know. Green Bay Packers.
Well, say it. Just end it at that.
Green Bay.
You got it.
I would say with Green Bay, Denver.
Aaron, you got $50 to Pump Jacks Cathedral. Good job, my man. Stay on the line. Colson's gonna get your information here, just like that. You could be like Aaron. Next Tuesday, Pump Jacks Cathedral Trivia. He's got $50 walking away with that, so we'll play for another $50 next Tuesday again. Alberton 13th in Regina. It is a Rider home game, so Saturday it will be the place. If you want to grab a few pints, some food, walk over to the stadium, walk there after. Pump Jacks Cathedral Trivia coming back again next Tuesday. Okay, we're going out on the Western Pizza hotline. And John, the Habs fan, wants to debate me on something I said yesterday. And I'm going to be all ears here, John, because what I said yesterday is why would Connor McDavid, who said the whole last week, maybe no term, I don't get why Toronto, everyone seems to be Toronto's the front runner for him to go and play. And I said because you're going from one pressure cooker in Edmonton, Canadian market, to the biggest one in Toronto. Now you say that there is one that's even a step up.
Montreal's worse.
I'm listening.
They are, Barney, because they are always expected to win. In loser nation, they haven't won anything in 55 years, and 2 playoff rounds in 20 years. There's more pressure in Montreal to produce and to win than there is in Toronto. Look at this young team that they have. Like, they're under pressure, and so is Kent Hughes, their general manager. He's under pressure to find that second-line center because they know they're a team on the rise.
I think you're cutting out there. The only thing is John, correct me if I'm wrong, last year, September, October, no one was picking, and you're a big Habs fan, no one was predicting the Habs were going to win the Stanley Cup. Were they?
No, they weren't. But they were mad because the rebuild is supposedly done, and it looked like they weren't going to make it. They turned it around, and they made it. Now, the expectations this year, Barney, is they're not only expected to make it, they're expected to win a round or two there. And that's the pressure. Not everybody can play there.
Okay.
That's worse than Toronto.
So my only counterpoint to that, it would be, I think in Toronto, doesn't matter if you got Alan Bester in net and whoever, people in Toronto just think they can win every year. Last year, Matthews, they had Nylander, Marner, which is now gone, and aging Tavares. They thought that they could do it. And I know Toronto fans right now are like, we were close, we did this. I just think it doesn't matter how. Then they don't go through a lot of rebuilds. I feel every year in Toronto, it is win, and that is it. Where in Montreal, they're a little more logical, a little more sane with, hey, last year, Nick Suzuki, Gallagher, Laine came back, and then injured again. I just don't feel that every year in Montreal, it's like win or nothing. There's some... Okay, we're kind of in a rebuild here. That's my only point where I think Toronto is worse. Is there pressure in Montreal? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Barney, there's lots because, like I said, their rebuild is almost done. They're a second-line center away from being, an elite team in that conference and in that division. And if they get that, look out. And then it's going to be like it was in the 70s where they expect them to win every year. Because when they didn't win the Cup, it was a failure.
You like Montembeault?
Not a fan. They have Jacob Fowler coming, but Montembeault's okay. I mean, he won over 30 games last year, so he's good enough for the short term, but he's not a guy that's going to win you a cup.
Okay, I got Sean Campbell coming up, hopefully on Thursday or Friday from Montreal. He's
I know
the
Sean. Sean's a good guy. I know him personally.
Let me ask him these questions, and if you want to call back there and ask him some questions, fire away. Thanks for the call here, John. Always appreciate it. Call anytime.
Will do, Barney, and I will call to talk to Sean. I know him. I call in on his show in Montreal.
All right. Okay, thanks so much for the call. We're up against the clock here. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, Canada's women's flag football team on their way to Panama. One of the coaches from right here in Regina, Saskatchewan. We'll have that when we come back. It's the Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. Welcome back to the Sports Cage. Let's talk some flag football. Like we said earlier, we've been talking about this a lot. Joining us here, if you see him, if you're watching the stream, you see him there. Tim Seiferling from Regina, Saskatchewan. I had no idea, Tim, but we do have some Sasky content going to the tournament in Panama. Joel Lipinski for the men's side, and then you for the female side. You're an assistant coach with the female national team. How did this come about? Can you sum it up quickly?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity. Coach Lassard, the head coach for the women's team, reached out to me at the end of June and asked if I'd be interested in helping out. And when that opportunity came up, you can't say no.
It's safe to say, are you one of those guys, kind of like me, are you like a flag football nerd? Like you just love watching it and dissecting it?
Absolutely. Yeah, my history is tackle. I've been doing tackle for 30 years. And when my daughters got into the flag, and as soon as I found out what this is about, I fell in love with it. It's my favorite sport to coach.
Okay, tell us where the female national team is right now, because you were in China, and now you're on your way this week to Panama.
Yeah, that's right. We just got back from China a couple of weeks ago. Had a really successful tournament there, and they're right now practicing in Montreal. We head out on Wednesday to Panama right from Montreal, and then start the tournament this weekend.
How is the team? How are things in China? How are we? What's all up in Panama? Give the people the 411 there.
Yeah, China was hot. It was wonderful. It was great. Accommodations were good. But really, I think the big thing was the focus of the team. We came in, team meetings went well, game preps went well, systems were implemented. One of the big things was taking the information that we were receiving from the game plans and doing proper scouting and then implementing those. That was good. So we ended up competing and did really well in our round robin with one loss, and that was against the U.S. It was a tough game. And then ended up going back up through the other pool and had to play Mexico in the semifinal, which was, again, another tough game. And ended up with a bronze and played Austria, battled hard, and ended up coming victorious on that. But Mexico and U.S. are really, really strong teams.
Okay, so who's all involved in the Panama tournament?
Well, what it is, it's pretty much, it's all the teams from North, South, Central America and the Caribbean. And there will be 9 teams playing in that tournament. And again, Mexico, U.S. are 2 of the top ranked teams. I think right now we're ranked as number 3 in that tournament, but you know how flag football is extremely competitive. So we're happy with the ranking, but obviously we have to go and play well.
Is it pool play? Do you guys play the Americans or then Mexico in pool play? Either of those teams?
Yeah, we're in the B pool. We're going to end up playing Mexico, I think, on the second day of the tournament, and that will be a pretty big game for us. Obviously, if we can beat Mexico, then we can set up for probably an easier semifinal matchup, because you try to want to avoid either Mexico or U.S., right? So you have to, depending what pool you're in, you have to beat one of them to avoid them in the semifinal, right? So
and we're hoping to finish top 5, and then we get to go to the championship in Germany.
Yeah, so in 2020, in August of 2024, there's IFAF, the World Championship, and the qualification for that is finishing one of the top teams in that Panama tournament. So I think it's if you're top 5 in that, then you're invited to go to that top 16 in Germany.
I'm looking at the weather in Panama. You said China was hot. I think it's going to be hot and humid there as well.
Yeah, well, I know my wife was teasing me. China was like 38 the one day, and it was ridiculous. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. But yeah, you're right. It's still going to be warm.
Okay, and then the last question, and probably one that a lot of people listening are out there. We talked about the men so much, and then the Olympics. I think it's the top 8 that get to go, or top 6 for the Olympics. How is it for the women? Is it women same thing? And where does Canada? Where are we? Obviously, we're gunning to go to the Olympics, but how's that looking? How's that road paved?
You know what? I don't know what the exact number is, if it's been officially set yet for the women's. I know in the IFA in 24 and the World Championship, we ended up with a 5th place finish, right? So I think as long as we keep competing at high levels, in the Panama tournament, and then have a good showing next year in Germany, I think those invites then start coming out as you qualify for that.
Okay, and then are you guys a lot like the men's team? Are you always looking to add players, maybe holding tryouts? Is there a taxi squad kind of thing?
Right now, we have a roster of our 12 that we're taking down, and in total, there's actually 24 on the roster. I know it's a competitive, competitive process, and I'm sure there'll be opportunities in the future to have to be identified and then to have a tryout.
This is really exciting. Okay, so it starts on what day in Panama and goes until when?
It's a 3-day tournament. It'll start, I think it was on Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
It'll be Friday, Saturday, and then the playoffs on the Sunday. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to have to keep close tabs on it, and then we'll have to have you on again when you get back and chat what's next for the team. Tim, this is really cool. You're getting some air miles in. You're getting to do what you love, and you might want to pack something that breathes. As I look at the weather, it's going to be humid. Thanks for doing this, Tim.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Right on. That's Tim Seiferling. He is heading to Panama, assistant coach of Canada's women's flag football team. Again, we've talked about it a lot here on the show, how exciting the flag game is. It's going to be really cool. We'll talk about the men's team here later this week. So our Sasky ties are coaches. That's all right. We'll take that for now, and then we'll add players as we go along here. It is the Sports Cage. We're kind of your home of flag football recently, and of course always on home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. Walkthrough for the Saskatchewan Roughriders today, not participating in practice. Jackson Ford, we probably knew that. Nelson Lacombo, CJ Rivas, and Marcus Sales. Riders Montreal Saturday -8. Riders is the opening line there. Alouettes have activated McLeod Bethel Thompson from the 6-game injured list. The Regina Rams have moved up in the U Sport National Rankings to 6. U of S is number 5. Toronto Blue Jays starting a big one at home against Houston. Starting in moments, they're just 2 up in the AL East. Big news for you Calgary Flames fans. They signed goaltender Dustin Wolf to a 7-year, $52.5 million contract extension. The deal carries an average value of $7.5 million for Wolf. Western Hockey League preseason tonight at the Orange Top. Regina's hosting Moose Jaw, SJHL, Flin Flons, and Swan Valley. Wayway Capo Wolverines are in Melville, Estevans in Weyburn. And our SportsCage.com poll today: who is the best running back in the Canadian Football League? You can vote at SportsCage.com. Vote for Trevor Harris. 2 for 10, 5-yard average last week. Why wouldn't a guy? In hour 2, it is for Extreme Hockey and Sport, where Bauer Flylight Days coming up Saturday. Shooting lanes, skates to give away, win your purchases, Regina Pat Canadian players on hand. That's Saturday at Extreme Hockey and Sport, where they have the price match guarantee. They're local. They've always been here in Regina. Extreme Hockey and Sport. All right, what do we got for time? Okay, let's get into Flowing Springs. Here it is. Oh, Brian, you're there already.
Absolutely.
It came out of nowhere. Hey, let's be honest. Another nice night here. I'm sure tee sheet's somewhat full, but there is room.
Oh, yeah, there's room, and right now our men's club are just finishing up their tee-off. This is our normal men's night, and they're absolutely enjoying this fantastic weather. I mean, beautiful weather, no wind. I mean, this is the big thing in Saskatchewan. When there's no wind, we really notice that.
September, beautiful. People are coming in this weekend for the Rider game. Bring your sticks.
Absolutely. If you have an inkling that you might want to play golf, come on in early or late, however, after the game or before the game, give us a call. We'll get you a spot on the golf course. And, of course, tomorrow is Wednesday, so ladies and seniors over 60, just $39 all day to play the golf course.
And you still got room for people that want to book a corporate outing?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be open for another month and a half. So if you've got an inkling that you've got a group of people that you want to bring out, whether it's staff or customers, you want to show appreciation, give us a call. We'll look after that.
All right, Brian, how do they find you?
Give us a call at 543-5050, and you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com.
All right, thanks. We'll talk to you Thursday.
Sounds good.
Beautiful night to golf. Get out there. Flowing Springs. Have a pint, go walk or ride a cart. Make me jealous. Got to be in a hockey rink all night. Sports Cage Hour 3 is going to be coming up with more from your text messages on who Morgan Wallen should walk out with in Edmonton and Glen Suitor. It's the Cage streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM. Hour 3 of the program. Thanks for making time, whether you're watching that stream through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com or if you're just on the streams or the radio, 620 CKRM. Maybe if you're harvesting, driving. Hopefully everything's going well out there for you. Colson's with me today. If you missed any of the program, you can go back and listen to it in podcast form all the time. We talked flag football. Tim Seiferling from Regina heading over to Panama with the women's team. Manager of the Regina Pat Canadians, Warren Fry, joined us. We are going to replay that again here in Hour 3 if you missed out of the Pat Canadians hosting regionals. That's big news. Arash Madani also joining us today. We're going to have more on the Riders coming up, some more Rider audio in a bit from practice. A couple of things. Friday Night Lights coming up on Thursday. Our look at high school football around Saskatchewan. And thanks to everyone who's messaged in at hi@sportscage.com. I know some of you have texted into the Prairie Land Rentals text line. We want to hear from you. We want to know what's going on in your neck of the woods, whether it's your 6-a-side, 9-a-side, 12-a-side team. Email us. Let us know the big games. Coming up tease this week, we're going to be talking to the head coach of the Lumsden Devils. And they got lights for all their home games this year. So let us know. We're the home of local sports here. Love talking high school football. And yeah, we're gonna get out to a few games this year. I know I said it before. So hi@sportscage.com. The other fun thing we're having today on the Prairie Land Rentals text line on the YouTube chat is Morgan Wallen is playing Edmonton Friday and Saturday. If you've watched anything about the Morgan Wallen concerts, he's one of the biggest musical acts in the world right now. If you don't know who he is, filling you in. 2 sold-out shows, Commonwealth Stadium. He always walks out with a celebrity with ties to that city or that area. It was Joey Bautista for the Blue Jays last week. He was wearing a Roy Halladay jersey. Awesome news on that. Travis Kelce, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Mike Tyson, different concerts. So in Edmonton, who's he going to walk out with? Is it obvious? Is it Leon from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan? Is it Connor McDavid with Leon? Maybe it's Lenny the dog. Is it Gretz? Is it Messier? No one likes, I think, Gizmo Williams. If we want to go CFL, I think Suits will like that one. The Giz walking out. We had Scott in Saskatoon said he should walk out with that Oilers fan from a few years ago, the lady. We've had a Glen Suitor with his cigar. We've had Dave Brown. Colson, you said famous from Edmonton, Michael J. Fox. He's got Parkinson's. Great actor. That would be pretty cool. Marty McSorley. Then the clubhouse leader for a long time there was Nickelback from Hanna, Alberta, just down the road. That would be all right. He's playing 2 shows. He plays Friday with Miranda Lambert. How you doing? And Saturday with Brooks and Dunn. So keep if you sorry. And then we had the one that said Mark Carney because he's from Edmonton. Ugh. That would not go over. Mark Carney with Danielle Smith walking out together. That would be something else there. 936-6262 if you want to have some fun. You guys make me laugh. And there's some that I can't read on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. So let's ask country music fan Glen Suitor. Here we go.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Morgan Wallen in Edmonton. Walking out with... Who should he walk out with, Suits?
Well, if he does it with Connor McDavid, then the entire city is going to go, okay, he's staying. Yay. So I'm sure Connor might not want that message right at this moment as he plays along here. But I don't know. I think there's so many greats. I mean, if Gretzky's around, Morgan Wallen has a great song. One of my favorites is Man Made a Bar. And, Gretzky had his own bars and wine labels and all that. So there's that tie-in. Giz would be great. I mean, the problem with the Giz is that if you put Gizmo Williams up there, he might want to sing along, and nobody wants to hear that.
Warren Moon?
Oh, nice. That would be outstanding.
And then in hour one, I said Darnell Nurse with a balaclava just because he's been stealing money out of Edmonton for so many years. But then he'd probably trip. He'd hurt Morgan. He wouldn't be able to perform. And then Edmonton fans would just really, really be rattled. Oh, James says, and this is another one we got earlier, Matt Dunnigan.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
Barry saying Mark Carney and Justin.
Yeah, bad idea.
Not in Berta. Not over here. Not in Berta.
And I won't get into it. But yeah, no, that's not not going to work. I just get in trouble there.
Are you doing the game? Are you doing the game Saturday here?
Yes, I am. I'm doing the Lions first on Friday night, and then I'm flying in day of game to do the Rider game.
Right on. You know that Keith Urban's playing right across the parking lot from Mosaic Stadium?
So you know my Keith story. You know that one. So in the Grey Cup, when he played Grey Cup halftime in Calgary a couple years ago, Keith, I've been a fan for a long time, partly because of my son loves and admires his guitar playing skills. And so he picked up on Keith Urban early in his career when he was down in Nashville. And that's when I kind of learned more about him, started listening to a bunch of songs. I thought, this guy's great. I love it. And so Grey Cup, and he's halftime. Occasionally, when it's a country artist, our producer would let me, I'd beg him to bring the country star to the booth so that we can meet, say hi, and we can do a quick little interview before halftime. And if it's a country artist, I got away with it a couple of times, and Keith Urban was one of them. So he walks in the door. I'm working with Chris Cuthbert, and he walks in the door to do the promo, and he goes, "Hey, Chris, love your hockey as well. Been watching football." And he I don't know if his people prepped him or if he just did a little Google searching or what he did when he came up in the booth. But here's this big star from Nashville coming up, and he knows Chris, and he knows his hockey background and football background. And then he turns to me. I haven't introduced myself yet. He says, "Glenn, how are you doing? And I know it's your birthday, so we're singing you happy birthday," because that day or that game, the Grey Cup fell on my birthday. So in the middle of the game, Keith Urban sings some happy birthday on national television. And I'm going like, so first of all, this is making me completely uncomfortable because it's not about me up here. It's about them down there. I didn't say that on the air to him, but I just thought, how cool is it for Keith Urban to either just ask his people to fill him in on the guys he's going to do an interview with, or just do it himself. I don't know how that went down, but he knew a lot about both of us in our careers when he walked in the door. I thought that was pretty cool of him.
Classy. Isn't that and again, however it shakes down the smoke and mirrors of it all. Here's my Keith Urban story time with Glen Suitor for Bronco Plumbing and Heating. He plays Country Thunder 2 years ago, I think. 2 summers. When was it? Like recently. My daughter gets right up. So Gabby would have been 10 or 11. She gets right up to the thrust, the stage there. And he comes and she's like filming him, taking pictures. He gets down. I'll send it to you. Grabs her phone, takes a selfie with him and my daughter.
I love it. And again, classy move. Nothing but class. It's a great point that you make there, Barney. And I think a lot of the guys that get rich really quickly, either through music or through sports, and they get those huge paychecks right out of the gate when they really don't know how to handle them. And a lot of them will think that they're better because of that. Because I'm a rich guy, because I can play the guitar and sing great, I'm better than you. And then you can see that in their concerts. You can see that when they blow you off, when you want an autograph or whatever. Not Keith Urban, not these guys. Usually it's country guys are pretty good. Like I've never run into a country guy, and we've done a lot in the booth. We've interviewed a bunch of them. And, I've never found one that was arrogant, because when you break it all down, as you mentioned, when you break it all down, we're just human beings trying to be the best citizens we can be and be good teammates to those around us. That's really what it's all about.
And to tie it to athletes, the grind. A lot of these women and men have grinded in vans, coast to coast, day in, day out. When you work in small, media market radio, you see it. Like it is an absolute grind. But let's talk football here, and then the big topic that's going on yesterday, and it's continued into today, is the hit on Zach. Unfortunately, he's not practicing today. He's in street clothes, in sweatpants, with the Bombers today. Glen Suitor's take on the hit. Was it the right call? Do you want anything more? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've examined it a bunch, and the rule, there's two things here. There's the rule of roughing the passer, and then there's the interpretation of the rule. What is the standard they're trying to meet? So when you look at the hit, based on the rule and the standard, it's a helmet-to-helmet contact, even though it's the face mask. So if Revis drops his contact there even about 6 inches, and the face mask hits, you're seeing it in slow-mo if you're watching the feed. If he drops that by 6 inches and the face mask hits the number 8, there's no penalty, and Mike O'Shea loses the challenge. But by the standard, by the standard that's in there now, the helmet contact made it a penalty. I don't think it deserves anything more than a roughing the passer penalty. Because when you look at supplemental discipline, now you're looking at things like, has this been something that's happened before with Revis? The answer to that is no. It has never happened, so there's no track record here. And the reason they look at that is because if there's a track record and a guy has done this 4 or 5 times, then maybe it's not an accident. So you should be counting that when you're looking at supplemental discipline. But I don't think he deserves it. I think it was a good hard hit with a free rusher. But by the standard of the rule, the face mask made contact with Zach's head. And as soon as that happens, it's a penalty. Now, they didn't call it, and O'Shea had to challenge it, and he wins the challenge, and they get the penalty. I saw Revis's reaction on the sideline, and I understand it, because even the new school players are still adapting to this new world where the quarterback is protected in such a big way. You have a very small target area right in his chest on a play like that, a blind shot where the quarterback doesn't see it coming. So to answer your question in a long way, the penalty winning the challenge, I think, was the right call based on the standard right now. But it wasn't a dirty hit by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't think it deserves supplemental discipline at all.
Does Zach got to get rid of that ball? No, a lot of people are saying he's got to understand what's going on there. He's got to step up. He's got to get rid of it quicker. He's got to sense that might come in. He gets shot out of a cannon there. It's not a video game. It's not as easy as a lot of us think. Is Zach, I guess, the one to kind of maybe point the blame here on why he gets the lick put on him?
Well, I'd have to know all 12 assignments to know that. But, generally speaking, when you look at it, if there's one more rusher than blocker, okay, so if they bring in a receiver and they have Brady Oliveira in there blocking as well, and Revis comes free, then basically what's happening is there's more than 7 rushers, the 5 O-linemen and the 2 protectors. There's more than 7 rushers. So if CJ Revis was the 8th, I'll have to go back and count. But if he was the 8th, now the onus goes to Zach because he knows he can't block the free blitzer. So there was only one in, and it was Brady Oliveira. So Brady Oliveira with 5 offensive linemen is now 6. So the Riders send 7. So there's a free man. And now the onus is on the quarterbacks and receivers to get rid of the football before that free blitzer gets home. And maybe it was a receiver that didn't notice it and just had his back to Zach. Yeah. So Zach's not going to throw it to his back. So that could be, an assignment break. You got to, if you see the extra rusher as a receiver, you've got to design hot route to create a target so he can get rid of it without getting hit. So yeah, I mean, it's really 12 men that have to decipher it all and have to do it in split seconds. But
the assignment should everyone kind of just stay out of it on the lane of he's got to retire, he's got to stay out of it. I know Mike O'Shea's getting into it a bit with Milt Stegall and all that, and everyone just wants safety for him, for players for sure. Father, kids, all that. Should everyone just stay out of that, let him make his decisions, see where it goes?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely, Barney. I mean, this is, I heard Milt, and, I'm going to respect, he brought up his son. If this was my son, as I'm paraphrasing, I wouldn't want him playing any longer. And with what just happened with Milt recently, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there for sure. I'm not I mean, that hit him differently than I think most people because of his last year. So, but for me, it's 100% Zach's decision, and he will have medical experts to help him make that decision. He will consult with his family to help make that decision with his wife and his family, and then it's up to him. And if he wants to continue to play, then let's, that's great. I mean, he's a grown man, and he'll make his decision, and it's none of our business really.
Do you learn more about the Bombers after the last 2 weeks than the Riders?
We've talked about the Bombers and where they're at right now. I've used this term a few times now, though, but the cloak of invincibility is no longer there. And there's a lot of reasons for that. You could say maybe they're getting a little older. They had to replace some star players. They've had injuries to guys like Dalton Schoen. Whatever you want to say, they don't have that, that 7-point lead before the team gets off the bus kind of thing. But they still have the talent to win. I learned more about in this game about the Riders because I know how difficult firsthand it is to win that second game. It is a tough 2 points, and I don't care what that team is. I mean, that could be a 1-7 or 1-9 team. And on the second game after Labor Day, it is really tough for the Riders to go in there and get a win. And so when they did, and Trevor had very good protection from the majority of the game, did a little running too, which was interesting. I thought a Joe might have a big game, but maybe he was forcing a little bit, trying to, fighting it a bit because he wanted to be a guy. I really like the secondary play over the last month. I mean, Tavon Campbell, yes, with a couple of picks and being atop the league now, but when you give Trevor time like this, it won't be picture perfect every series, but you're going to win games. You're going to win games. And I think I learned that the Rider discussion on are they the best team? Is Calgary the best team? Can they win the second Labor Day game? Yes, and yes. They are the best team. The best team in the league by record. And they went into hostile territory and won a game that is almost impossible to win every year, no matter what the records. So I learned more about them. I just think they're a well-coached team that perseveres.
Calgary losing to Edmonton. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. And then Calgary also losing Armalade.
Yeah. That's a big hit because that D line was 1 and 1A were the Riders and the Calgary D line. They that's a ranking that went sideways, not down, up and down.
And you heard, and when you're listening to Dave and Luke, sorry to interrupt, Glenn, but you're listening to Dave and Luke, or I'm watching a game Calgary's playing, and you're calling the game. Like, he might not be, getting 4 or 5 sacks a game, but he's being mentioned all the time. Armalade, right? So he's effective. He's a guy. Sorry.
In the Labor Day rematch, I went and watched the game tape from the first game on Labor Day in Calgary, and went back and looked at that and saw how they were providing pressure. How were they getting so much pressure on Cody Fajardo? And what they were doing is sending Flo Armalade up the field with a speed rush that is as good as any in the league because he's so quick off this line of scrimmage, out of his stance. And with that speed rush, they only had to rush 3 because they were forcing Cody. Armalade was getting there so quickly, they were forcing Cody to step up. And when he stepped up, he was stepping into the defensive tackles, even though there was only 3-man pressure. And then they took Clarence Hicks, the 4th D lineman, and they spied him. They just left him on the line of scrimmage. And any way that Cody escaped once he stepped up and escaped left or right, Hicks would track him down. And that's how they were getting all the pressure they were getting. But the key to all of that was Armalade speed off the edge, making Cody step up into the pocket.
And we talked to Arash earlier, and you look at when you really now at 2 games after Labor Day, not where the Riders are at 10-2, and then Calgary's 8-4, but you look at Winnipeg, BC, and Edmonton. But toss up, who knows who is going to be sitting in that 3rd spot in the West?
Yeah, the Edmonton Calgary game, the rematch, that was to me the biggest upset of the season. For Edmonton to beat Calgary, and that was before Armalade. I mean, when you just looked at the numbers, the personnel, the matchup, what happened on Labor Day the week before, you added all those things up. This was looking like a Calgary blowout. And Edmonton they lost Jake Serezna, they lost Nick Anderson, they lost Niles Morgan, their 2 stud linebackers. I mean, they were hit hard on the defensive side, and they took it to Calgary in that game. So that was, to me, the biggest upset, and it puts Edmonton right back in the thick of things. Here's my problem with the BC Lions. I've said it a couple times. I thought they had their best game of the year in Ottawa defensively, and then they couldn't get a stop at the end when they absolutely needed one.
Yeah.
And I went, there they go. Like, what is this defense all about? I mean, that was a game that not only was winnable, but it was a game that they could have buried early in it. And, Dustin Crum, the backup quarterback, comes all the way back. And when they need it the most, the defense can't get a stop. So that's their problem. I mean, I like I like Mike Benavides. He's a good friend. I'm hoping they get it figured out. because I love the race for that third spot. And not only the third spot, Barney, but the crossover.
The crossover. Yeah. That's what Colson was just saying. You look at the way it stands right now, like 4th and 5th in the West is tied for 2nd in the East. One of those years.
Yeah. And, still a lot to be sorted out here. And it looks like Montreal is going to bring McLeod Bethel-Thompson off the injured list. I saw that on social media today. Because they just weren't getting it done with, what are they on now? Their 3rd or 4th string quarterback, I think. We'll see. But a lot to be determined here. But I learned that, again, that the Riders this weekend can win in a lot of different ways and are facing adversity much better than they did last year. When something bad happens, like that fumble early, they didn't give up a touchdown, and with all the crowd going nuts and the momentum all on Zach Collaros' side, and Zach was still in the game at that time, and they held him to a field goal. Those things are how you're becoming a very good football team.
All right, let's regroup on Thursday and tee up things against Montreal. I think a lot will be decided injury-wise for the Riders, Marcus Sayles, all that, and then we'll find out more on what the Owls are bringing this way on Thursday. Thanks, Suits.
Sounds good, Barney. Thank you.
Get a hold of Gizmo. Ask him if he's walking in with Morgan Wallen.
But I'll tell him he can't sing. You can go up there, but you can't sing.
That's right. Okay, Thursday again. That's press coverage with Glen Suitor for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. Get that furnace tuned up right now. They're going to treat you right. 781-2090. We'll go back to the Prairie Land Rentals text line in a bit and see what people are saying there. And we're also going to get into a little more on the Riders, some audio there, and then talk Pack Canadians to finish off the show. It's a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. Riders are back in the practice field, going through a little walkthrough today. Injury side, Marcus Sayles did not participate. Tavon Campbell also wasn't participating today. Montreal here on Saturday, -8, the opening line for the Riders. Alouettes have activated McLeod Bethel-Thompson from the 6-gamer. Calgary Stampeders, if you missed it yesterday, Flo Omerlade has suffered a torn Achilles. He's out for the season. Regina Rams have moved up in the U Sport National ranking to 6. U of S Huskies right in front at 5. The Jays starting a big one at home right now against Houston. They're just 2 up in the AL East. Calgary Flame fans, congratulations. Dustin Wolf signed a 7-year, $52.5 million contract extension. Western Hockey League preseason tonight in town. Regina Pats hosting the Moose Jaw Warriors. And our Sports Cage poll today, who was the best running back in the Canadian Football League? You can vote at sportscage.com. Our 3 sports tickers for Steelcraft Doors in Regina. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. 20 minutes left to play. SaskTel pick the score, 936-6262. What's the score? Al's Riders Saturday. Got a chance to win 2 tickets to that game. Colson's going to do that in about 20 minutes' time. And then the closest one, too, you got a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. Thanks to SaskTel for that. And then before Thursday at 5 p.m., might as well get your Rider 50-50 if you're not locked in with the auto renewal, because the early bird prize is a Dominican all-inclusive package for 2, 7 nights, 5-star. Man, I love the Dominican. 7 nights, 5-star flights and transfers, or you can take $5,400 cash. If you win that, let's make a deal. Maybe I'll give you 55. It's not allowed, I don't think. Thursday, September 11th, 5 p.m., early bird deadline. Great prize. Riders5050.ca. We got the manager of the Regina Pat Canadians coming up after the break, but as we go to break here, let's hear Dave Thomas talking with Kosi Onyeka about his memorable day in Winnipeg.
Well, Kosi, tell me a little bit about the game in Winnipeg. What was it like getting that start?
Yeah, that was my first start in the pros, and it was a blessing. Grateful for the opportunity. I'm blessed to have the trust of Coach Mason, Coach Bell, and all the coaching staff. But it was a great experience. We came out with the W. We served up 4 interceptions, but there's still lots to clean up. And this week, you know, we looked at the film and, you know, we identified things we need to clean up, and, you know, we did some good things, but there's always room for improvement, and we just try to carry that on to each week. And, you know, that was a good team that we beat, Winnipeg. There was extra emphasis on them. You know, they sent us home 2 years in a row. You know, last year in the West Final, that was a tough game. So, you know, we kind of put the bullseye on them during the week, and it felt good to get that W.
It was a start 4 years in the making, and we have the opportunity as people and observers that are watching practice day in and day out, and we can see the work that you put in and the mental reps you put in. To me, it looked like you slid in and didn't look out of place or overwhelmed by the moment. How did you feel?
No, I felt good. You know, that's the standard that we have. We kind of uphold the next man up standard. You know, the standard doesn't decrease no matter who's in. So we all kind of hold each other accountable. And, you know, my teammates and my coaches held me accountable. And, you know, the extra preparation and the extra studying and the extra work in the weight room, it kind of paid off. And that's what kind of made the transition as smooth as it was. Just all the preparation that we did as a unit and all the preparation I did as, you know, as an individual. It was kind of an easy slide in there, especially with all the guys we got back there. We got ballers. So I just try to compliment them as in my free safety role and just do what I can. Don't try to do too much, but play within the scheme, and it worked. You know, we got 4 picks and we got a W. So,
as Luke Mullender always says, the proof is in the film. So you've had the chance to watch film. What did you make of your own assessment?
You know, it was a good first start. I kind of played safe. I kind of played it safe, as you know, getting in there. I kind of didn't want to make any crazy mistakes, and that's what happened. I, you know, played within the scheme, did my job, but there's definitely some areas to improve on, and I think I can be a little bit more aggressive going into next week, and, you know, hopefully I can get myself a pick next week.
Coming up against a Montreal team that some would argue are pretty desperate after having lost 5 in a row, you're probably well aware of that. What do you need to do to be successful against them?
You know, we can't press. We can't do anything out of the ordinary. We just got to do what we do, stick to the script. You know, they're a talented team. They're struggling right now, but this is pro football, right? Like any given Sunday, any given day, a team can win. So we just got to, you know, stay true to what we do and prepare like it's any other week. Right now, we can't get too caught up in what they got going on. We just got to continue to chop wood and, you know, try to put on a show in front of Mosaic.
Before I let you go, you're 10-2 going into this week. A win clinches a playoff spot. Does that mean any more or any less to you?
I didn't know that, actually. But no, it doesn't mean anything to us because we know the goal is, you know, to be playing when it's cold outside in November. And we all have goals to raise that Grey Cup in November. So obviously that's cool, getting the playoff berth. That's the first step, but that's kind of what's expected in this building, and we don't want to like hang our hats on that because, you know, there's still a lot of work to do. So